Hey everyone, just see who comes on and just wait for people to connect. So, hey Veronica, guys, can you just, if you can hear me, just type a yes please in the comments so I just know whether to turn this volume up or not. Hey Sally, good to see you. And if the light is too dark, can somebody just let me know in the comments and I'll put another light on. There was just a bit of glare coming. So just let me know if the light's okay and if the volume's okay. I'm assuming, hi Sharon, I'm assuming light's okay, volume's okay, and we're going to be ready to rock and roll. How's that? Thanks, Veronica. All good. Brilliant. So yes, let's get started, everyone. Welcome to Amplify Your Soul Signal group. If this is the first time you've joined in on one of the trainings, welcome. Lovely to see you here. And tonight we're going to be talking about honoring your soul. What is honoring your soul? But before we start, just wanted to say a few things about myself, really, and just to get a bit of transparency and a bit of kind of clarity on this. I'm not professing to be a mystical guru. I'm not sitting here talking about an existential transformation I've had. Far from that. It is based purely on my experience, practical and tools, realizations, insights from my own experience. And also, I just want to share with you some of the things that I've worked with and experienced with over 20,000 hours of teaching children, adults, coaching sport, teaching Alexander technique, helping people to reconnect their minds and their bodies, and hours and hours of dialogue with individuals, trying to find out what is keeping them, particularly what's keeping their bodies and their minds from connecting. And it's really all of this information that I've kind of managed to distill down, particularly over the last 5 years of my own personal work and journey. So I want to just share that with you tonight. And I'm just deeply passionate about helping people wake up, if you like, and realize the deep reservoirs of potential and joy and fulfillment and happiness and possibility, gifts, talents that we all possess. And this stuff I never came across until probably about 4 years ago. And then my mind kind of started to open. And I talk about the perspective spectrum. It really opened my mind. And I dived deep down into it because I was really, really stuck, suffering from depression, struggling with my business, finances, struggling with the relationship I had with myself. And I knew I needed to change. So I literally just immersed myself in as much information, books, online courses, videos as possible. And the possibility became possible. So I want to share a little bit of that with you tonight. And for me, connecting with my soul was the fundamental thing I needed to do. I tried businesses where I was misaligned. It was my head telling me I needed to earn more money, but it was not in alignment with my core values, with my soul, my heart, if you like, my truth of who I really was. And it was always destined to failure. It was why After 11 years of teaching, I left because I felt I'd done everything, I'd achieved everything I wanted to do, and then I tried to get back into teaching, and it was my head telling me to get back into teaching because I could earn money, and it was simple because I had done it, I'd been there. And these things don't work out when you're not in alignment with yourself. And my heart was telling me no, so my soul was going one way and my mind was taking me another way. And it just transpired that things didn't work out down the teaching front, and here I am now sharing some of that experience and some of that journey with you. So I really want to keep this interactive. I want to keep it fun. I want to keep it as short as possible. So let's dive in to honoring your soul. And hey, Juanita. Hey, Angie. Great that you joined. Hey, Jenny, all the way from South Africa. Great to see you. So what is the definition of honor? And you can go and check this out on Google. You know, the things that came up for the definition of honor were, you know, respect. That was the key one. And I'll just read you a quick definition here. It's a quality that combines respect, pride, and honesty, okay? And it's something that is held in high regard for something or someone, and that someone is you, okay? When you can truly honor your soul, we're talking about honoring yourself. How come there is so much talked about honor, okay? Honoring somebody else, something, but we forget about ourselves. And this is what I realized, is that when I started really connecting with my truth, my inner truth, who I truly was, what really epitomized who I was, things started to shift, and they shifted rapidly. Okay, so the two key words that I think of are truth and integrity when we're talking about honoring your soul. And you know, honor may be quite an old-fashioned word these days. You don't hear it bandied around a lot, and it's often associated with war or often dishonor, relationships, and so on. But I found it really actually comforting to go and research what honor meant, and it has for me this quality that is I think so personable, and it's something that you can really hold in high regard. And when I started playing with honor and putting my soul into that equation, it created a shift, a lift inside of me very, very quickly. So, and it's something I think that is also deeply embedded in us. And honoring your soul, connecting with your truth, takes courage. It takes huge courage. But what I've also realized is that it imbues courage. It actually feeds the courage as well. So it takes courage to kind of connect with yourself and honor your soul, and then express it and amplify it and stand there in all its glory. It takes courage. But as soon as you do that, you feel more emboldened, you feel braver, you feel more courageous, because there's something that just kind of connects deep within you. And I firmly believe that we are born with this gargantuan amount of courage in us, but we've shut it down over the years. So this is a way of actually getting that confidence in you, that courage, that boldness, that cheekiness, the desire to start taking you out of your comfort zone and experiencing different things. And I think this is a route towards it. And it's something that I really, really encourage you to embrace. And we're going to do some exercises to help you start doing that. Okay. So, you know, without getting too much into the theoretical side of it or the intellectual side of it or analyzing it, I've got some questions for you, and I've got some questions that hopefully can start stimulating and exciting your connection with your soul. I'm going to use the word soul tonight, but I'm also going to use the word truth. And for me, the two are kind of the same thing. Some people get a little bit funny and don't feel quite connected when they hear the word soul or spirit. So I'm also going to use the word truth. Okay. And for me, there is no distinction. You know, when you know what your soul is saying, you know what your truth is. When you know what your truth is, your soul's being amplified anyway. So if you've got a pen and paper, I've got 4 questions for you that you can write down. And if you're feeling particularly brave, then feel free to share some of those answers in the comments. I'm going to post these questions in the group after the webinar tonight. So if you don't get them all down, and if you don't get them sort of answered, that's absolutely fine. What I encourage you to do is have a think, start the ball rolling, and then when you've got some time, sit down with a lovely glass of wine or a cup of tea, maybe sit down with a partner or a friend and go through these questions and really delve into them. It's a fantastic exercise, and it really can bring up some amazing stuff. So if we're ready, quick like or a quick yes in the comments box, that'd be brilliant. And I'll read the questions out. And just to remind you, I will post these questions in the group later on. So the first question I've got for you is, what does honoring your soul / truth mean to you? Okay. So what does honoring your soul or your truth mean to you? And the second question, or part B of that question really, is on a scale of 0 to 10, okay? On a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being absolutely not honoring your soul, disconnected, not aligned, and 10 being completely passionate, in alignment with your heart and your soul. Where are you now? So on a scale of 0 to 10, where do you think you are now? Not tomorrow, not yesterday, not a few weeks ago, not where you want to be, but where are you now? How do you feel about where you are now in terms of honoring your soul? Okay, so give yourself a score of between 0 and 10. And if you want to stick that in the comments, fab, brilliant, we'll get a bit of an idea. If you don't, that's absolutely fine. Okay, so I'm going to go on to the second question. And that second question is, why do you think it's important to be honoring your soul or your truth? Why do you think it's important to be honoring your soul or your truth? And this can be quite personal, okay? And when you dive deep into this, it's a fantastic exercise, because what I found is it strips away a lot of the things that you thought were essential or important. So why do you think it's important to be honoring your soul or your truth? Question number 3. What does that mean in practice? Because we can talk about this and we can theorize about it, and we can, have a conversation with ourselves in our head, but what does it mean in practice? And this is something that can really amplify your experience day to day, because when you know what it means to honor your soul in practice, then you can do more of it. It becomes a practical thing. It becomes something that you can make part of your daily experience. So a couple of things might be, the simple one is, people talk about music that touches their soul. It might be that when you get out into nature, that's probably one of the most common ones, something changes inside of you and you feel uplifted. It might be something to do with your relationship with your children or your partner or your pets or your friends. They're something that really, really makes you feel completely connected, joyful, happy. So what does it mean in practice? And also think about what it means in practice in terms of what you do for a living, what you do as part of your community. How does it impact your health? Okay. Some people feel that their health is kind of part of honoring their soul. And I concur with that. So that was question 3. And finally, the question number 4. Question number 4. I've just been told there's a bit of a glare on my glasses, so I'm going to take the glasses off, and but I can't read my notes. So you'll have to put up with the glare for a bit. Question number 4. And this is an action one. What are you going to do with immediate effect to start living closer or more in alignment with your soul, okay, or your truth? And I think we can add a second bit to that question. What will you commit to? Maybe it's just one thing that you'll commit to. So I'll repeat that question again. What are you going to do with immediate effect to start living closer or more in alignment to your soul, to your truth? So how can you start honoring your soul with immediate effect? What thing can you do to start honoring your soul? Okay. And what can you commit to? So it's kind of a 2-part question there. And it might just mean that you take some time out for yourself every day, or you listen to a particular piece of music when you get up in the morning, or you might set some time aside to do some exercise or just take a walk in nature or in the park or something like that. Very simple things, very simple steps that you can start implementing straight away. So write those down. And if you're feeling brave, if you want to share some of this in the comments, that'd be awesome, but no pressure. But these are questions that you can go back to. And this is not an overnight, instant, oh yeah, I'm honoring my soul type exercise. This is something that I would like you to explore. Create some time, sit down and ponder it and see if you can get into that space of just really feeling what it would be like when you're in total alignment between your head, your body, and your heart, your soul, your truth. Okay. And things may change, and you might discover new ways of doing that, which is amazing, which is awesome. And it means that you're exploring and you on this adventurous journey to your soul, and you can always evolve that experience. You don't just kind of connect with it and then you go, yeah, I'm there. For me, it doesn't work like that. I have to have this awareness, and that awareness is just growing and expanding every single day as my whole being is on this journey of evolving with a more connected, aligned state between my mind, my body, and my soul. And sometimes it's tough. We face challenges and we go back to old patterns, and the head takes over, and the monkey mind then wants to start running the show. But when you're aware of that, and when you can see that happening and stop and reconnect with specific tools or strategies, whether it's meditation or music or just having a chat to yourself, then you can get back in alignment. Okay. And I call this the authorization of the soul. Okay. When the soul is authorized, the mind starts to follow. Okay. But what often happens is the soul goes one way and the mind goes the other, and then you feel in conflict, and you feel misaligned, and you feel out of sync. But as soon as you start to pay attention to what's going on, and you start thinking about, oh, I need to reconnect with my heart and my soul, the mind starts to come back into alignment. And the more you practice that, the more you become aware, the quicker it can happen. And then it starts to become almost second nature. Okay. And then it starts to become part of you. And then everything else starts to fall into alignment with that. And you start to realize that not just your relationship with yourself is changing, but your relationships with your family, your friends, your colleagues might start to change. You start realizing that less and less does your mind get engaged by what I call the fizz of life, the stuff that is kind of unimportant, the tedious things that kind of annoy you and upset you. And you also might start to notice that you start to get more creative, you start thinking differently, you start behaving differently, you start responding instead of reacting, and things start to shift. And particularly what I noticed was that when you become more aligned, when you become more conscious of honoring your soul, your reticular activating system, which is a part of the brain, which is a filter, okay, all those neurons there filtering 6 trillion bits of stimuli and information coming at you on a daily basis, your brain just can't cope with that. Well, my brain can't anyway. It would explode. Your reticular activating system starts to shift from the stuff that is negative, doesn't serve you, doesn't support you, and it starts looking for the stuff that is going to start helping and contributing and supporting you, and it becomes more positive. It looks for connections, it looks for opportunities. And this is really, really important, because what I'm talking about is not just, go and become all spiritual. It's not. It's about really connecting the neurobiological mechanisms that are phenomenal, okay, but also connecting parts of us that we've never been taught, which is about the forces and the energies that we possess, and they come from within us and they exist outside of us. So I'm talking about, combining this kind of spiritual, biological process just to help you get through and amplify and expand your experiences. Because I believe that there's an experience to be had that for me has been unbelievably fulfilling at times, and has been soul crushing at other times. So this is just something that I believe really passionately about, because when I've realized this and combined the two, things change literally without me trying to change them. So what are the benefits? And I've just explained some of those, but a couple of things that I really, really noticed was that when you connect with your soul, when you start thinking about, am I honoring my soul in this conversation, with this train of thought, with this activity, with this idea, okay, you get out of your head. You start getting out of your head and you start feeling into the decisions. You start feeling into the actions, you start feeling into the relationships and the conversations. Okay, answers and solutions start to come more naturally. They seem to come out of nowhere, which is surreal. And I even just ask, what can I do about this? And nothing comes up. But suddenly, a few hours later, or a few minutes later, or a day later, bingo, I start getting little ideas, little insights. And that's how this webinar came up. I was like, what can I talk about? And it's just driving the car, and boom, there it came out of nowhere. But I think the most important thing for me was that it helped solidify, it helped confirm identity, my sense of identity. Because when I'm honoring my soul, I know truly, truly, truly who I am, what my truth is. So it really helps to solidify and clarify your sense of identity, because often we're filling lots of different roles: father, husband, friend, work colleague, business owner, representative on a committee, all those sort of things. And connecting with your soul means that you can take your identity and fulfill the other roles from your own perspective. Okay, and it just helped with alignment and presence. And it's something I constantly just ask now. Is this in alignment? Is this honoring my soul? And sometimes I'm not sure, but I just sit with it, and then it starts to happen. Okay, so I get a couple of responses here. Time to follow my heart, soul, not everyone else's, from Sharon. Yeah, awesome. Okay, it is a journey. To feel fulfilled and truly joyful, Veronica. Yeah, beautiful. And Veronica said might be at about an 8.5 on her score. Being honest with yourself, from Tamara. Yeah, all of these things, being honest with yourself, how often are we telling ourselves lies? It's not us, not really us, but it's the mind telling us lies. So I said I wanted to keep this practical. So I've got another quick exercise for everyone. And it's a vision exercise. And I want you to use your imagination now, the most powerful part of the brain. Okay. And I'm just going to take you through a little vision exercise. And if you can, I'd like you just to close your eyes. Okay. And as much as you can, I want you to try and see if you can see, feel, experience, and be what I'm about to describe to you. And I'm going to take you through an honoring your soul, or honoring your truth exercise. So I want you to imagine that if you're sitting in a room now, that there is another you sitting in the room right next door. If you're sitting in a car, I know somebody's sitting in a car right now. Imagine that you're sitting in the back seat, or there's somebody in the passenger seat next to you. That other person is you, but it's just a different version of you. It's almost like you're seeing yourself in different places. Okay, so we're only going to spend about 30 seconds to a minute on this. So just take a couple of nice deep breaths and just gently close your eyes. And I want you to just breathe into your heart. Think about just gently breathing into your heart, your beautiful pumping heart that works tirelessly for you day in, day out. You can't do this. I want you to just imagine that your heart is just relaxing and expanding as you just breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. And soften your eyes. Relax your jaw, relax your shoulders. And now I want you to get a vision. Imagine that the other you sitting next to you or in the next room is there. And this version of you is fully connected. Mind, body, heart, and soul. They are truly, truly powerful, have an absolutely phenomenal sense of who they are, what they want, this version of you is completely in alignment with your heart, with your soul, with your truth. There is no question as to how you want to live, how you want to relate with yourself, and how you want to relate with others. This version of you is completely and utterly comfortable and assured with how people perceive you, how you perceive yourself. You're completely authorized. You are able to be completely honest with yourself and with others. But at the same time, you have a huge capacity for kindness, for love, for empathy. You have great clarity about how you want to live your life, how you want to lead your life, what you want to experience in your life. This version of you is calm and relaxed, is hyper aware, feels empowered, productive, energized, bold and courageous. But at the same time, this version of you is poised and present. With a very clear sense of what success and fulfillment mean to you. This version of you is completely familiar with honoring your soul and your truth. And just sit with that and feel into that. How does that feel? What could you achieve? What could you see happening from that perspective, from that version of you? So just open your eyes, and I hope that kind of gave you a sense of what lies within. And you can make that a habit. 30 seconds a day when you get up in the morning, just say to yourself, how am I going to honor my soul? How am I going to honor my truth today? Close your eyes and just visualize the day ahead. and just visualize yourself being how you really, really want to be. It takes 30 seconds. We went a bit longer there, but yeah. And you don't have to do it just once during the day. Do it loads of times and just stop. And the more you do it, the more your reticular activating system is going to start looking for evidence to support that. You've got to literally start rewiring what's going on in your mind. I'm not going to go into all of the mind stuff, but that's a very, very simple, easy exercise that you can do for yourself. And we're nearly finished, but there are just a few more things I want to just quickly touch on. For me personally, honoring your soul was like being set free, because I realized that once I could connect with my soul, once I could go there when I wanted to on my choosing, I could access a place that was free of judgment, criticism, expectations, the outside world. It was me. I could go home. Okay. And for me, kind of honoring my soul was kind of a way to become free. I'd always thought of freedom as being a way of having financial freedom. I always had a material association to freedom, being able to just go off and do whatever I wanted. But it didn't didn't take into account family life and children and all that sort of stuff. And once I realized I could access that place, then for me that was freedom and that was success. And those are two kind of values that I really got out of this process of honoring my soul. So make it a habit. Reference this phrase, if you like, honoring my truth or honoring my soul. Reference it on a daily basis as much as you can. We talked about your thoughts and conversations on actions, experiences. Just check in with yourself. It's so critical. And once you start doing it once, you'll start realizing that you do it more and more often, and suddenly you realize that certain parts of your life are starting to become more in alignment with your truth and with your real self. And then there's less doubt and there's less judgment and there's less criticism. And I think what happens is that your path, your journey to your destiny, your purpose, your dreams starts to open up for you, and it becomes a pathway that is not forced. It is not a path that is characterized by dogged determination and resilience. It becomes a path of joy. You start to characterize joy in your relationships and your work and the way you do things, and you start to feel towards the objectives and the dreams that you aspire to. And I think the final thing I want to say is that this is a process, and I still have days where I'm struggling and I'm not in alignment, I'm not in the flow, and in fact this morning I just wasn't feeling it, and I realized it. So instead of cracking on with work and getting stuck in and trying to motivate myself and force myself to take action, I just thought, that's not in alignment with my soul. That's not what I'm wanting right now. That's what I don't need that. So I just took some time out and just had some stillness, just created some stillness and just let go and allowed. And then, things started to happen after that. And I think that's really important, is to allow, that word allow yourself to connect. And stillness is a great thing. Turn the music off, turn the TV off, turn the children off, turn the animals off, whatever, and just be. And some people like to do it at home, or you can do it outside in nature. But I think it's just something that we do not have enough of in this Western society. We are constantly bombarded by stimuli, and creating space to connect is vital, and it's so important. And when you start doing it regularly, it becomes part of you, and your body, your mind, your soul will tell you when you need it. Okay, and that's when you know that you've made really, really long-lasting connections. And finally, before we go, quick question. If you'd like to put in the comments just one word that, I don't know, how can we describe it? One word that means honoring your soul to you. Okay. Stick it in the comments, see what people come up with. For me, my one word is freedom. Okay, is freedom. So I'm going to put that in there. There's mine, and I'd love to see what yours is. You know, what one word would really kind of epitomize what honoring your soul is, and that'd be great to see. I don't know if we've got any ones coming in here. Let's scroll down to the bottom. Okay, Angie, truth. Yeah. Awesome. Anybody else? Just as Sharon says, soul is authorized. Can you elaborate? Yeah, Sharon, basically, when you're in alignment, what your soul is authorized, yeah, you're living life from a heart-centered, soul-driven perspective. You know, you're feeling, and your decisions, you're just more connected, more in alignment. You're kind of not in your head. You're not, you know, making decisions and living life just from purely a intellectual or a mental capacity. You feel that your heart and your body and your mind and everything's kind of in tune. And that's what I kind of mean by soul authorized. Your gut instinct, your intuition is leading the way. Okay, any more? Helen says honest. Joanne, hey Joe. Faith, fantastic, brilliant. The truth shall set you free, Angie. Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, truth, brilliant. I think often we kind of, you know, are lying to ourselves, or our mind is lying to us about what's important, who we are, and we get caught up in that. So brilliant. I really appreciate everybody participating and contributing tonight. I hope that has sparked your intrigue and curiosity about your soul, honoring your soul, getting closer to living your truth. What I'd really encourage you to do is go and visit those questions. Okay, I'll put them in the group in a couple of minutes after this webinar, and then go and sit down and just have a play with them. I did it the other night again, and it's amazing what comes up, because, you know, when you start committing words to paper, something strange happens. It seems to kind of get into your cellular being as such. Okay, so it's a really important little exercise, and oh, we need to divine. Love that. That's fantastic. And I'll, if you want to share in the group, awesome. And there may be some accountability by doing that as well. So that'd be great. And it'll be interesting to see if you notice a shift in results. I'm not saying that it's going to happen tomorrow, but you may start to notice that different things start to happen. When I was talking about it, and I'm talking about it tonight, I can feel it in my, kind of feel it on a physical level. Things just seem to be opening, and most of this is kind of unscripted, and I just want to kind of just talk from where it's coming from. And you can live like this. You can create your business, or you can run your business from this perspective. You can really enhance and amplify your relationships from this perspective. And it's just wonderful to recognize it, to know it, not understand it, just to know it. Because when we know, we know. I searched for it for years, and I now know. And you don't have to go and live in a retreat and meditate for hours every day. Yes, meditation helps. I meditate every day pretty much. But I also have lots of other tools and strategies to help me become present and connect. And it's about actually living in alignment with the life that we have, and just changing the perspective. Just a little shift in perspective, and then everything else starts to shift with it. So from my soul to your soul, I got to say just a huge thank you. Thank you for joining me this evening. And I look forward to connecting with you throughout the week, and early into next week. We'll be live again next Wednesday. I'll post that in the group. But have a fantastic weekend. And I look forward to seeing your comments and your insights as you hopefully feel more confident, more excited, more curious about honoring your soul or honoring your truth. So time to go. Thanks very much, everyone. Have a great night. Have a great day wherever you are, and we'll catch you soon. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.